Blog Talk Radio.
Radio.
Peace, everybody. Peace, prosperity, health, and good wealth to everybody out there. Thanks for tuning in to the Truth Tuesday show with your host, Hakeem L, here on Hindsight Radio, the information station changing the nation. Man, today was an incredible day. You know, it's one of those days where just one thing happens to change, or I wouldn't say change your perspective. It enhances your perspective on things. You know, as much as I talk about, you know, bringing wealth, prosperity, good health, bringing good spiritual information into your life, you know, get spiritual people around you. You know, sometimes you have things that pop up that make you doubt. You know, not make you doubt, you allow yourself to doubt. And just that one thing happens. And you don't even see it coming. It kind of blindsides you. And you be like, wow, this is real. And that happened to me today, you know. And it was incredible. You know, I won't go into details because it's someone's personal business. But what I will say is, I did something. I said something, not knowing what I was saying and why I said it. But what I said stopped something. And when the individual came back to me and told me what I said and how it helped them, how it and I was like, I was just talking. I was being silly when I said that. You know, I was being foolish. And at that time I was just, you know, kidding around, but what I said was so powerful, it had a change and an effect. So that tells me that God is real. This is a real thing we're dealing with. This is a real spirit. God is real in you. It has to be in you. And you have to believe in that, you know. And it was incredible. And all I could do was laugh because it was just so funny. I said, wow. But anyway, I know y'all curious to know what happened, but I can't share that story without their permission. But it was very powerful. You know, and I played Tasha Cobb's song there. I like her as a singer. She's a very powerful singer, and she really brings out the message that she's trying to convey. I know some of y'all not into the whole church and, you know, Jesus and all that, you know. I understand, you know. I understand where you're coming from. But I played music that uplifts me, and that uplifts me because what it says is you want your cup to run over. My cup runneth over. And it keeps me focused on that, keeping my cup running over, keeping abundance in my life, not just abundance on a financial and material level, just an abundance of spiritual knowledge, you know, in me. And I like to share that spiritual knowledge, but mostly it's for me, to keep me strong inside, to activate the powers of God within me so that I can manifest all of that is good into my life and manifest good things to people around me. And I like to believe, and I believe that, you know, I do have a good effect on some people, you know, for the most part. Sometimes I can get in my ways and I don't have such good effects, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what's positive. And I just want to say thank you to the people that do put up with my quirky ways and my short where I come off as sarcastic and stuff. I appreciate you guys for putting up with that and seeing through the fact that I really am trying to help you. But we have to remember that we are in charge. We are the orchestrators. We are the power in our life. We are making everything happen to us and for us and for everything around us. And we have to take 100% responsibility for that, whether it's something you like or not. We have to. There's no shortcuts to this. There's no shortcut. I ain't going to take responsibility for that. No, we got to take responsibility for 100% of what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, you're going to reap the benefits of whatever you're doing, whether it's good, you like it or not. You're reaping those benefits. So why not think positive, put positive things out there so that you can reap positive things? What you give is what you get tenfold. That's a science. That's a guarantee. Yesterday morning, I woke up very early, like I always do, and I started reading one of my favorite books, and that is the Bible. And I happened to think about the story of how the birth of Christ and how the wise men came and they gave gifts. And I said, what are these gifts they gave when they came? And I looked into the exoterical, the spiritual, the deeper meaning of what they were giving. And I'm going to share that with you tonight. But also I'm going to share with you guys more stuff on unsworn testimony. A brother sent me something yesterday. Brother Ahmed sent me an email with a PDF, and it talks about unsworn statements. And we're continuing with that lesson because it ties into everything that I'm about to show you in this private membership. No, this is 2020. And our hindsight, no pun intended, is going to be 2020. We're going to go in, correct, and go after these people for coming after us and trying to keep us in slavery with all of this debt. I hope in your New Year's ritual that you put down that you're going to get rid of debt this year, because this is the year to get rid of debt. Wipe it off. Start off at zero by the end of the year. Okay? Things that's been burdening you, and I'm going to, hopefully I could be a huge tool for you to be able to do that. So we'll go over that later. But first, we got to talk about this. And it's part of what I'm doing. I'm creating a series, and it's called the Christ Consciousness Series. And so what I'm going to be doing is going through from the beginning when Christ was born in the Bible and explain to you the higher science of what was going on there, outside of what you will learn in a church. They told you Jesus died for your sins, all that. We ain't talking about that. We're going to talk about what it really means when it comes to you personally, your consciousness, and how each one of those connect and how they relate to you and how you can apply that. So let's start off by reading Matthew. And we're going to start at verse 18. And it said, now the birth of Christ, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been engaged to Joseph, but before they lived together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph, being a righteous man and unwilling to expose her to public disgrace, planned to dismiss her quietly. But just when he had resolved to do this, an angel, the Lord, appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for the child conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will bear a son, and you are to name him Jesus, for he will save his people from their sins. Now, I'm going to tell you that Jesus added is an added-in name. Jesus was not in the Bible prior to 500 years ago. All right? And I'm going to show you in a minute. For he will save his people from their sins. All this took place to fulfill what had been spoken by the Lord through the prophet. Because here it is. It says, look, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and they shall name him Emmanuel. Didn't say Jesus. Emmanuel. So so they said name him Emmanuel. What does that mean? Emmanuel means God is with us. God is in us. This is the consciousness level. So Mary was birthing an idea of higher consciousness through the Holy Spirit. What it's trying to tell you is the only way you can get the right knowledge is through tapping into the Holy Spirit and getting that higher consciousness so that God can be with you. There is no in-between. There's no pastor. There's no reverend. It's just you and your connection to the Holy Spirit that gets to the higher consciousness, the God in you, to bring forth the perfect idea, the righteous ideas, the knowledge. And if you can tap into that, you will be able to do what I do when I figure out all of these processes. You can do it. Probably do it better, just like Christ said. Well, let's keep going. There you go. Emmanuel represents God is with us. God is in us. And I'll stop right there. The birth, just to recap, represents a new divine idea. A new mind, of a divine mind, which is the mastermind. Okay? So let's keep going. I'm going to skip down to chapter 2. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him, and calling them together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, and by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people, Israel." And Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." See, King Herod, who does King Herod represent? Y'all deal with King Herod all the time. Y'all deal with King Herod on a mental level and a physical level. King Herod represents that negative thought that comes in your mind as soon as you birth a divine idea, to try to kill it, destroy it. That doubt that comes up, that fear that comes up. And also King Herod represents people that will give you a negative idea. Let's say, for instance, "Oh, I'm going to start this business," and then you're going to say, "Well," and they'll say something like, "Well, you're going to lose your business benefits if you lose your job. You won't have any health insurance." They try to make you look at man's idea of what his security is supposed to do instead of you relying on the God within you, your divine consciousness, to carry you through. That's what King Herod represents. That negative side of thinking, that negative vibe, the negative vibrations, the negative things that pop up to stop you from moving forward with that new divine idea that you just came up with. But then you notice he sent the wise men out to find Christ, not to do anything that's positive, but to destroy. So sometimes you have a negative person or negative thing that will come in disguised as something, as wisdom. And you have to be able to weed through it. But let's keep going. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out there and ahead of them, and went the star that they had seen at the rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child, and with Mary, his mother, they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chest, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So the wise men who was going to see Christ, and Herod said, "Let me know when you get there where he is so I can come." They were wise, and they knew what the king was planning. But before we get to that, let's go into what they gave as gifts. They said they opened up the treasure chest. They offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So they had a chest, a treasure chest. They opened that up. So the wise men represent that Christ consciousness that's connected to the Spirit of God, that opens up the treasures of prosperous thoughts, positive thinking. Now, notice what they gave. They gave gold. What does gold represent? Gold represents success, achievement, and triumph. Gold color is associated with higher ideals. So, my suggestion to you guys, go get you some gold. Put it around your neck, whatever you want to do with it. Go get some gold. Because gold, again, represents success, achievement, and triumph. Gold color is associated with higher ideals. So what is the gift that was bestowed or the Christ consciousness received was success ideas, higher ideals. The next one was, actually it keeps going. Gold also represents wisdom, understanding, and enlightenment. It inspires knowledge, spirituality, and deep understanding of self and soul. You get it? So these things that they were offering represented your divine consciousness and all that is good about it. All right? Next one, frankincense. That was the next thing that they gave, right? They gave, They gave frankincense and myrrh, right? So frankincense denotes spiritual good, and good is that which reigns in all truth, pure heart, clears falsity of evil, representing most truth. So frankincense clears out negativity and represents truth. Clears out false. What is you clearing out? False ideas that you can't do it, that you can't succeed. Those false ideas that, I need to put it off until tomorrow. Let me not do it because it's so difficult. Those ideas of giving up on yourself or someone. That's what frankincense. Here's another thing. Y'all better go get y'all some frankincense and start burning it in your house. If you want good to happen to you. I think these messages got lost. I know they got lost in the messages of the modern day church. They'll tell you, oh, your good is coming one day. Someday it's coming. But they don't give you the recipe for what it is that's going to bring you that good. And the recipe is changing your mind, changing your thoughts. Okay? Myrrh represents the eternity of spirit, an emblem of the resurrection, an ointment of love. So what does that mean when you apply it to yourself? It means that you are eternal. The physical body might decay and go away, but the spirit of you is forever. It exists infinitely. It connects to the source, the God within you, the God outside. Everything outside and inside, that's what you represent. The eternal, infinite God. How can you not be that? You're made in the image and likeness of God. So therefore you are God. I am God. I know that's tough for some people to accept because we've been taught that we're sinners. We make mistakes. We this and that. And we're always looking for some forgiveness. And I'm here to tell you that's false. You don't need forgiveness. You've already been forgiven. There is no forgiveness. You're perfect in how you are. The only sin there is that thought that you are not one with God, that God is not with you or in you, or you are the I am. So there you have it. That's what the wise men represents. And then next week I'll go further and go deeper. But it all connects back to the divine thinking, the divine mind. And if you don't have a divine mind, you're going to have a mind. It could be wicked, corrupt, and that's what you're going to get out of it. So if you're having problems constantly, brother was on the show last week. He said, I just can't get it right. Things ain't working out. It's hard. And he don't realize he is confessing that very problem in his life by saying that. He is making that real. Because that's what he believes. That is his I am statement. I am having a hard time. I can't get it right. I can't do anything right. Life is hard. That's what he's preaching to himself. You are constantly preaching something to yourself. And if you're going to preach something, make sure it's a good message, a positive message. All right. Here we go. I broke that down for you. And now it's a good idea to go read through that and connect that. Let's go into, 7:36? Okay, good. Got time. All right. Where is this document? I wish I can give it to you, but it's a PDF and I can't give you. Maybe I could find it on the internet. I never did. Maybe I could find it. The title of this is called Attacking Affidavits. And then I'm going to read a case law, too, if I got time, that people are using in these foreclosure cases. And like it's going to give them a win. And I'm going to show you it's actually hurting them because they didn't read the whole thing. Oh, I think I got it. Found the link to it. Yep, here it is. I found the link. And I'm going to put it in the chat now. All I did was type in the title. Here it is, right there. You might have to copy and paste that, put you in your web browser, and you'll pull it up, okay? Be mindful that if you got a question, press 1. I'll get to the questions probably at the top of the hour, shortly after 8, and then I'll the show will end. All right, let's go to Attacking Affidavits, Maintaining the Integrity of the Process. Very good article. Thanks to the brother for sending this to me. Gave me something I had something else I was going to talk about, but I thought this was a little more important. Okay. The use of affidavits by counsel, whether submitted by the defense to substantiate its contentions that summary judgment is warranted, or by the plaintiff in an effort to show the existence of a material issue for trial, often can be an effective method of presenting information critical to court's evaluation of the merits of the case. However, in many respects, the formalities of affidavits have fallen by the wayside. That's an understatement. Over time, as courts have become less procedurally formal, there has been a corresponding erosion of standards governing testamentary evidence submitted by practitioners and considered by courts. So they're telling you the courts are not following the rules like they should. As standards for affiant submitted evidence have eroded and fallen by the wayside, so has the integrity of the fact-finding process. The importance of maintaining and enforcing the standards established for sworn statements is as important as the integrity of the justice system itself. This article revisits and emphasizes the procedural and practical requirements for the admissibility of sworn statements. Now, this article I'm going to read is going to show you how your stuff is supposed to look when you submitted it and how their stuff is supposed to look. And if it doesn't look like that, it's not evidence. I need y'all to stay with me on that. Get off those other far-out topics that's been getting people in trouble. Supporting or opposing affidavits must be made on personal knowledge, set out facts that would be admissible in evidence, and show that the affiant is competent to testify to the matter stated. Federal Rules of Civil Procedures 56E1. Let's pull that up. Let's pull that up and see what that says. That's based on summary judgment. It says E1. Failing to properly support or address a fact. If a party fails to properly support an assertion of a fact or fails to properly address another party's assertion of fact as required by Rule 56C, the court may, 1, give an opportunity to properly support or address the fact, 2, consider the fact undisputed or purposes of the motion, 3, grant summary judgment if the motion and supporting materials, including the facts considered undisputed, show that the movement is entitled to, or 4, issue any other appropriate order. What is it telling you here? That you must challenge anything that they're calling fact. Any supporting materials. It says, consider the fact undisputed for purposes of the motion. See, what's happening is these guys are entering summary judgment against you, and you are not disputing the facts they're presenting. What are the facts? The affidavits, or the unsworn affidavits, unsworn exhibits, unsworn statements made by attorneys. And it references Rule 56C. Procedures. Supporting factual positions. A party asserting that a fact cannot be or generally disputed must be supported by the attestations by A, citing particular parts of materials in the record, including depositions, documents, electronically stored information, affidavits or declarations, stipulations, including those made for the purposes of the motion, admissions, interrogatories, answers, or other materials, or B, showing that the materials cited do not establish absence or presence of genuine dispute, or that an adverse party cannot produce admissible evidence to support the fact. See, it says that an adverse party cannot produce admissible evidence to support the fact. And you need to say that in your paperwork when you're rebutting. The adverse party cannot produce admissible evidence to support the fact. I would actually copy and paste that and put that in there. All right? So let's go back to the document. A party who submits evidence in the form of affidavits must do so in the proper, authenticated form. Even at a preliminary stage of trial, courts should not permit admission of documents that do not strictly comply with procedural rules. This is saying that the court is supposed to check that on its own. Hey, this is not supported according to the rules. But they're not doing that. They're letting their buddies get away with murder in these situations. It is imperative that a party's sworn submission be sufficient in execution and substance, as well as consistent with prior assertions to ensure the integrity of the process. Accordingly, practitioners should re-examine their affidavit forms and consider whether they are in compliance with the applicable rules and case law as to form. Practitioners also should examine opposing counsel's submissions and move to strike any that do not meet the clear standards set forth for admissible affidavits or sworn statements. So it's telling you right out the gate, you need to move to strike anything that doesn't meet the standards of a sworn statement, sworn affidavit. Okay? Sworn exhibit. Technical requirements for a sworn statement are critical, but often not met. The mere signing of a statement in the presence of a notary or a notary's placement of an acknowledgement on a statement does not constitute a sworn statement or affidavit. In Orsi versus Kirkwood, 99F2D 8691 4th Circuit 1993, the plaintiff argued that courts should be lenient in accepting documents at the summary judgment stage as long as they are probative or at least evidence of evidence that could later be introduced at trial. The court rejected this argument, holding, "We have no desire to make technical minefields of summary judgment proceedings, but neither can we countenance laxness in the proper presentation of proof." It at 92. Every practitioner and court should hold to this rule to ensure the integrity of the process. So what this is saying, there isn't any what you call relaxing or giving latitude to this process. It's strict procedures when it comes to evidence. In one presidential case, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit was confronted with the issue of whether a party's signed statement given in the presence of a notary constitutes competent summary judgment evidence. Nisho Iwa A.M. Court versus Klein. The acknowledgement at the end of the purported affidavit considered by the court read as follows. Before me, the undersigned authority on this day personally appeared, Ms. Rukmini Sukarno Klein, known to me to be the person whose name is subscribed to the foregoing affidavit, and acknowledged to me that she executed the same for the purpose and consideration therein expressed, and she signed it. Given under my hand and seal of office this 17th day of April 1983, then it says Robert C. Bennett Jr., Notary Public, in for Harris County, Texas. ID at 1306. In spite of opposing counsel's argument that the evaluation of this submission was hyper-technical, the court held that this acknowledgement was insufficient to convert the unsworn statement into a valid affidavit and was thus properly disregarded as competent summary judgment evidence. In support of this conclusion of law, for which it had been positively cited 85 times by courts throughout the country, the court held the only evidence in the summary judgment record purporting to justify appellate's position was her own rendition of facts contained in a notarized self-described affidavit. This affidavit is neither sworn nor its contents stated to be true and correct nor stated under penalty of perjury. A recent federal court ruling in Texas similarly demonstrates this pitfall. Schostetter versus Montgomery County, Texas, 2006 WL1117883. In the court held that statements that merely bear the signature of the notary, as were proffered by the plaintiffs, constitute neither affidavits nor sworn statements appropriate for the court's consideration upon the defendant's motion for summary judgment. The court rejected the plaintiff's submissions as proper evidence holding. Plaintiffs have filed a number of witness statements that plaintiffs' counsels characterize as affidavits, but they are not sworn to, nor are they statements made under penalty of perjury. The mere signing of a statement in the presence of a notary or a notary's placement of an acknowledgement on a statement does not constitute a sworn statement or affidavit. Accordingly, the statements do not constitute summary judgment evidence under Rule 56C and are not considered on the pending motion. So you got an affidavit and you put your notary thing, that's not a sworn affidavit. You have to have something in there that swears to the fact. That's why in my passport affidavit, it's got a sworn statement in it. It's the rule. What is it? The 1746 without the United States. Y'all know what that is. Let me pull up that and I'll read it. See, you have to have something saying that this is made under penalty of perjury, or let's see, what am I looking for? Let me get a good one. All right, let me make this easy on myself here and just go right here. Open. Here we go. All right. At the bottom of my thing, it says, one of them says, I, name, being duly sworn, hereby declare my intention to be a national but not a citizen of the United States. But then also, I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, the foregoing is true and correct, executed on, and then signature. All of your stuff should say that. Have that, at least that. Unsworn declaration in there. Why is it an unsworn declaration? Because you didn't go and hold your hand up. But that is still acceptable by the courts. Because that said, under penalty and perjury, needs to be in your affidavit. And that's there. That meets the Rule 56C test. The plaintiffs, let me keep reading. The plaintiffs failed to present proper statements made under penalty of perjury warranted the court's disregard of the proposed affidavits and its granting of summary judgment in favor of the defendants. Courts throughout the country unanimously agree with the Nisho Iwa court's holding that the mere signing of a statement in the presence of a notary or the notary's placement of an acknowledgement on the statement does not then render the document a sworn statement admissible as evidence. Also, I need to add, so if you're doing third-party debt collector letters and stuff, you need to throw that stuff in there because eventually you're going to be needing that for court. So you need to update your affidavit. Anything that you're sending out that you're going to be using in a court proceeding. It is important to consider the specific elements a statement must satisfy in order for it to constitute an affidavit upon which courts will rely. The proper statement must satisfy three essential elements, and I hope y'all got a pen because I'm about to break it down. The proper statement must satisfy three essential elements. One, a written oath embodying the facts as sworn to by the affiant, the signature of the affiant, and three, the attestation by an officer authorized to administer oath that the affidavit was actually sworn by the affiant before the officer. Here's your rules there. That's what it's telling you. 3 a.m. and they got a reference that you can look up. 3 a.m.jur.2d affidavit section 8 2008. Let me see if I can pull that up and then put it in the chat for you. Looks like that's under American jurisprudence. I keep pulling up. Okay, let's see if this one will do it. This might help you. And affidavits are used, form, and content of the affidavit. Yeah, this is good. I'm gonna put this in the chat. There it goes. There it is. All right, so let's go back. Perhaps most critical to the evaluation of the sufficiency of a party submission is the court's consideration of whether the affiant provided the statement with a true understanding of the significance of his submission. It's got a bunch of case law. I'm going to skip down. In Tishkon, the plaintiff submitted a statement in which he incorporated the phrase hereby declares under penalty of perjury the following, but neglected to declare his statement true and correct. So you got to have true and correct in there as well. The court held that of greatest importance in its evaluation of the statement is whether the person signaled that he understands the legal significance of his statements and the potential for punishment if he lies. If a party submission demonstrates a lack of understanding of a statement's legal significance or perhaps an indifference to the penalties of perjury, the submission should be properly excluded from the court's evaluation. The requirements for a sworn statement or affidavit do not exist merely to irritate practitioners with inconsequential formalities. It has become too commonplace for practitioners to ignore the requirements for a proper affidavit and for some courts to avoid enforcing the requirements for fear of being perceived as too hyper-technical. The requirements for sworn statements and affidavits exist to protect the integrity of the truth-seeking process and to guard the rights of the parties from abuse. Failure of practitioners in courts to strictly enforce the requirements undermines the legitimacy of justice system that is dependent on truthful testimony. Substance of party submission must constitute admissible evidence. Affidavits submitted by a party must be made on personal knowledge and must set forth facts that would be admissible in evidence. Rule 56E1 FRCP. Just as requirements for the form of statement should not be relaxed, evidentiary requirements also should be strictly enforced. Failure to analyze the substance of an affidavit in light of the requirements of rules of evidence can undermine the integrity of the process. Case law helps shed light on the court's potential treatment of hearsay and other evidentiary violations with regard to affidavits. A North Carolina federal district court in 2008 was confronted with an affidavit that constituted hearsay. Gell versus Town of Aulanda. In Gell, the plaintiff had been acquitted of criminal charges and subsequently filed a civil suit against persons involved in his criminal investigation and prosecution. The defendants moved for summary judgment at 299-300. In response, the plaintiff submitted a document prepared by an investigator working on the behalf who had met with the witness for purpose of conducting an interview. The investigator asked questions of the witness and created a draft affidavit for her based on her responses to his interview questions at 300-301. The defendants argued and the court agreed that these unsworn statements in the form of responses to questions made by a witness and simultaneously recorded by the interviewer were inadmissible hearsay. If y'all paying attention, if you should go read this case, go pull this up and read this, because it's showing you a lot of times these investigators are getting statements from people, but they're not actually sworn statements, and they're not admissible, but the courts are allowing it. And if they're going to use someone's statement, that person has to be in the court to certify that they wrote that or they made those statements. Okay? In accordance with this holding, a person's unsworn responses to interview questions that have been recorded by a third party are inadmissible hearsay when offered for their truth and thus are to be excluded from the court's consideration upon a party's motion for summary judgment. In another case involving similar circumstances, several discharged police recruits filed suit against the city for wrongful discharge on the basis of race and gender. Friedel versus City of Madison. 82 F2D 965 7th Circuit 1987. After 9 months of discovery, the defendants filed a motion for summary judgment with accompanying affidavit. The court held that the plaintiff's counsel provided an object lesson in how not to respond to a motion for summary judgment. Plaintiff's counsel provided their own affidavits to which they attached a number of unsworn interviews of police recruits. The court rejected this unsworn interview questions and responses as inadmissible evidence holding. The use of affidavits by counsel is in certain carefully confined situations undoubtedly appropriate, but it is a tactic fraught with peril. And counsel must remember that the requirements of Rule 56E are set out in mandatory terms, and the failure to comply with those requirements makes the proposed evidence inadmissible during the consideration of summary judgment motion, supporting material designed to establish issues of fact in a summary judgment proceeding must be established through one of the vehicles designed to ensure reliability and veracity. Answer to interrogatory submissions and affidavits. I'm going to stop right there because this is a long article. I think y'all get the point, right? You should get the point that the rules of evidence are written in stone. There's no getting around it. The only reason why they're getting around it because you're not challenging. You see? But keep reading that. This thing. The whole thing is excellent information. And it's got a lot of information that you can research. You know, for instance, in the next paragraph, it says the answer to interview questions were based mostly on what the person heard or felt to be the case and thus exhibited serious hearsay and other evidentiary problems and ran against the legal requirements of Rule 56E. For instance, in a case that I am familiar with personally, a lawyer made the statement that a person was arrested. That was true. That was a fact. And they were charged with some certain crimes. But then the lawyer went on to add that this person was going to be put in a mental institution, which no court or they assumed that would happen once they got released. That's hearsay. That is not evidence. And they were trying to use that to win a summary judgment. Of course, the court rejected that. But that's a lawsuit because he made statements that were slanderous to the defendant. So that person can now countersue for making that statement. How can he make a judicial determination where there was no judicial determination? You got to remember, when you're arrested, you're innocent until proven guilty. And for them to say and use that as a basis for impeaching you is slanderous. You're only accused. You're not guilty. And for them to use that, you can quash that statement. You can strike those statements as prejudicial. And with that being said, my daughter's calling me. And I will be right back.
Now tune in to Hindsight Radio.
Peace to the gods. You're listening to Hindsight Radio.
All right, I'm back. That's right. The place for right knowledge. I hope y'all absorb and why I keep going in on these sworn statements, these sworn exhibits, sworn affidavits, because every day you're dealing with it. Even if you're not in court, you're dealing with that. When they send you a letter from the IRS saying you owe some money, it's just some calling you a taxpayer, and then you owe us this. No one swore to this. They can never take that paper into court and use it as evidence, although they do. And the reason why they get away with it, because you don't challenge it. We don't challenge it. Now you know. Now you know how to challenge it. Even in my rebuttals to them now, when they're sending me letters, hey, please provide me something that somebody is swearing to under penalties and perjuries, that the foregoing is true and correct. I'm requesting that now. You know, you got an entry on your credit report, and they say they verify. Well, verifying means swearing under penalty of perjury that this is true and correct. They can't keep it on your credit report. It applies to everything that you are doing. And I am totally convinced that you can win 100% of your foreclosure cases if you attack it from the very beginning, the way I'm teaching you. Now, realistically, because people are scared of the courts and they go in there, they don't know how to step up and stand up for themselves, I don't see a lot of people winning. But I'm saying you can win 100% if you fight it the way I'm showing you, because they never can meet the evidence test in the court when it comes to a mortgage. They can't, because that specifically says firsthand knowledge. And somebody's got to swear that the foregoing is true and correct under penalty and perjury. No complaint, no foreclosure complaint have I ever seen had those statements in there, ever. Same thing with criminal cases. They got this, he's saying this and that. You did this, you did that, and they so-called, their stuff doesn't even meet that. Motion to strike. So I'm going to put together a motion to strike template. I don't think I need to do a webinar on that. I just going to put it up on the website. So y'all can go pick that up. You see? Pursuant to such and such and such, you know I'm going to have my constitutional statements in there. Pursuant to rules of evidence, rule this, that, and the other, and pursuant to the Constitution, right of due process, being able to face your accuser and knowing the facts of the case. Because when they're entering unsworn statements and stuff like that, you're not getting the facts. It's not real. I'm trying to get y'all to understand. Most of these cases are illusionary, meaning it's not a real case. It becomes real when you validate what they're saying against you. That's how it becomes real. When you agree with it. All right? So, with that being said, if you got a question, comment, press 1 after I get my last call. Right now, it ain't that many hands up, so y'all going to give me an early night off. And I appreciate that because I look forward to early nights because I like to take all my calls. But before you get into what you have to say, I must hear, it's a requirement, how good your life is, your family, whatever it is, something positive must be stated before you get into your question or comment. Okay? That's a requirement, and remember that. Here we go. First call. 321-210. Peace.
Peace to the God.
Peace to God. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
All is well. I can't complain, man. You know, everybody go through their little trials and tribulations, but we turn them around and make them great. It's a learning experience.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I missed out on the show. I just jumped on at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's life been going?
I still ain't hear nothing significant that was positive.
Oh, well, Life is positive, you know.
Y'all love skipping that.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I jumped on because I had a question also after that. I'm trying to remember the question.
Okay.
Right now.
We'll get to that question as soon as I hear something good about you.
Well,
I ain't going to let you get off now. I mean, listen.
I like that. I like
I think
that.
I'm going to just let you bypass that question, okay? I'm trying to get you to get used to talking about yourself in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I always keep a positive mind frame. That's one thing. And I don't look things as being negative. You know, I always look at it as a learning experience, of course. And anything other than that, it's like, man, I got so much on my mind.
Today, nothing happened today that you could be thankful for? You know, nothing?
Yes.
I know at least
I'm
one
still
thing
here.
happened.
Yes,
okay.
I'm still here. I
We're getting somewhere.
Went through a little court process, and man, they weren't trying to hear what I was saying.
You're thinking about that thing too much. You can't even get out the good that's going on with you. It's a lot. I bet you it's more than one thing going on good with you. You just can't see it right now. You don't know how to express it. You know, we're so used to expressing our problems first before we express something good. That's very difficult to do that. So I'm trying to reverse that pattern, break that habit, you know?
Yes.
So you got an assignment. You got to wake up in the morning talking about something good, being excited, saying, I feel good, I feel great, I feel wonderful or terrific. You got to, you know, start it off that way. That's how you're going to break it.
Every day, and every day.
What's the question?
It's going back with the injunction. Now, I remember at one point in time you said that you know, maybe a brother maybe never did it right.
I wouldn't know unless I saw it.
Yeah,
I got it. That he did.
Yeah.
I need to see it.
I got it from you, but the thing is that, you know, them individuals down there, they not giving up without a fight, man, and they deal with that trickery.
Of course not. Their job is to trick you and not give up without a fight, make you think that what you're doing ain't working. That's their job.
True. Yeah, it is.
You got to keep your constitution strong.
They try to avoid it. They try to avoid it, go around it.
Well, that's how you know it's powerful, when they avoid it. When they're not talking about it, that means it's real.
Yes,
because if it wasn't, they would talk about it, right? And they would go through it line for line and rebut it, right? They don't. They act like you didn't even submit it, like it don't even exist. Right. So that tells you that it's worked. It does something. You know.
And they keep going forward. So my thing is, like, how do you stop them from going forward? Like they brush it to the side and like, well, you ready to proceed?
Well, I don't know the details of the case, but I can say in a general sense, you got to keep telling them they don't have jurisdiction, and tell them that you don't understand. You don't have any jurisdiction. I don't understand. You don't have jurisdiction. You got to keep them on jurisdiction. See, that court can't determine its own jurisdiction once you challenge it. And I will put a formal motion that they don't have jurisdiction and use the Constitution as the basis of the reasons why I'm saying. Now, a lot of the states have a rule on how to challenge jurisdiction.
Okay. I'm in the state of North Carolina. So you need to go
find that rule. Well, I don't know exactly how South Carolina does it because I didn't look it up. I know in South Carolina, you have to give that motion directly to the clerk and directly to the judge. The judge got to get a copy. You can't depend on the clerk to give it to him. Now, you can instruct the clerk to give a copy for the judge. He has to have his own copy when you're doing a jurisdictional challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great information right there.
Right. You got to challenge the jurisdiction. Whenever you challenge your jurisdiction, all of a sudden they start changing the court date, and you just be showing up and just be there. And, come back tomorrow. Come back this day. Come back then. Yeah, challenge your jurisdiction. What's happening, you're doing a constitutional challenge, which is a good process, but they evolved. And the reason why they evolved, because the constitutional challenge is only mentioned in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedures. So they'll say, well, this is a criminal case. But the way the states made up for the 5.1 of the constitutional challenge by putting in a rule to challenge jurisdiction, which is constitutional challenge is really a jurisdictional challenge. It's the same thing.
Yes.
Name something different. Because you're saying constitutionally you didn't have a right to do something. If they didn't have a constitutional right to do something, then that's jurisdiction.
Of course.
But now you're specifically saying jurisdiction is challenged because they didn't follow the Constitution. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Man, oh man, it's so wild, but it's a beautiful thing, man. I live and I learn. We all.
I guess that's another template I'm gonna have to put on up there too. So I do have one. I did one for a couple of people. Jurisdictional challenge is challenging jurisdiction. Motion challenging is really a motion challenging jurisdiction, not jurisdictional challenge. It's a motion challenging jurisdiction. Yeah, you got to style it notice and motion to challenge jurisdiction pursuant to the Constitution and rule, whatever the rule is that they have there.
Yeah, nip it in the bud. Okay.
I just gave it to you right there. I just didn't read it out in detail.
Yeah. A lot of us in the beginning, we still learning.
The title. Yeah.
I feel you. And then one thing I was trying to express to them, like I'm not familiar with special law. Now, general law is one thing, and he's still.
They're gonna play you like a fool with that one. They're gonna play you like a fool.
And that's what they do too.
When you say you're not experienced with the special law or whatever, all you have to do is say, "I don't understand."
Gotcha.
That's saying the same thing. There you go. That's saying exactly what you just said in a language that they're gonna accept and not play.
In the public.
Right. See, whenever you go to court, you ever sit in the courtroom and watch people? If one person doesn't they'll say, "Do you understand?" And if one person just nods their head, the judge stops and makes them say yes or no. Yes, you understand?
They want to get it on the record.
So when you say, right, they got to get that on the record. He stopped. Like, I've seen a guy, a judge, do that. Do you understand? They say yes. They keep going, boom, boom. And then every now and then, somebody comes in and throw a speed bump. And they'll be like, nod their head or try to walk off. And he'll stop them. Hold up. Do you understand? He'll get on alert. He got to get that. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's a necessary function to get that affirmative yes or no out of you.
Gotcha.
So that's a way of not conferring jurisdiction on them by saying you do not understand. You're speaking in a foreign tongue.
Basically, that's so true.
Then here's another pitfall that they try to get you once you say you don't understand. Well, we're going to assign you an attorney. So simply all you have to do is say, are you making are you going to assign me an attorney? So are you acting as a representative of mine? I don't recall contracting with you to hire a lawyer for me.
Oh, I like that.
Are you making a judicial determination as to my legal contract that I can get into? Are you my trustee now?
Oh.
You see?
I've been through that before also. That's so crazy because when I told her I don't understand, I remember at one point in time she asked me, but would you like to hire an attorney? And I rebutted with, no, I'm capable of handling my own affairs. You know, that's what I told her.
Right.
Man,
then, at the arraignment, here's a key thing y'all got to remember. They try to, like, you go in, you don't want to plead guilty or not guilty because that confers jurisdiction for them to move forward. And that's how the judge enters into the case. Then, so if you don't plead, he'll try to enter a plea for you by way of not guilty, right? And all you have to do is say, I just want to be clear on what's happening here. Are you making a judicial determination by saying that I'm not guilty? Do you understand what I just said? Do you get what I just asked the judge?
Are you making? Well, basically, he's partnering up with the courts. Actually, are you making?
No.
He's trying to do something for you.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm going to say it again, and I want you to hear it clearly. Yeah. Are you making a judicial determination by stating that I am not guilty?
Judicial determination saying that I'm not guilty. Okay.
Or entering on the record that I'm not guilty. What is a judicial determination? It's an order by a judge stating that you're not guilty.
How can he do that?
He can't. Well, when he says you're not guilty, I'm putting in a thing that you're not guilty. And you're asking, are you making a determination today that I'm not guilty? And he says he's gonna get stumped by that question. He's gonna be like, and he said, because so basically what you're trying to get him to say is you're not guilty. Case closed. And you move on. And then he said, well, no. Then I said, well, then if you're not making a judicial determination that I'm not guilty, then I'm not in agreement with you putting anything on the record as to my guilt or not guilt. No guilt.
That makes sense.
And then you probably go around in circles with him for a minute. Then you have to just say, hey, it seems like you're practicing law from the bench. I'm not, I'm just getting that impression right now that you're acting as my representative lawyer, and based on my understanding or overstanding, you guys, you can't practice law from that bench up there, buddy.
At all.
Yeah. You see, they play games with you, but you got to play the same game back, but in a respectful manner.
Of course, but you got to be sharp enough to overstand. You have to be sharp enough to understand.
But that's what it comes from. That comes with practicing in the mirror. You know you got to be practicing in the mirror. When I used to practice, when I was taught how to give speeches in the church,
yes,
my father gave me a very good technique. You write out your speech, and then you look in the mirror and you do your speech. That's when I was 8 years old. That was my first speech. And that's how I learned. That was one of the good things my father gave me, one of the tools. So I'm going to give you this tool. You kind of assert what you're doing and practice in the mirror what you're doing. Looking at yourself, getting comfortable with talking. You got to do a little practice. You can't just walk in there hoping you're going to have the right words to say, because I'm going to tell you, that court's got a negative energy, and it locks your tongue up.
It happened to me plenty of times. It
like
happened
you be wanting to say something, and it won't come out. Right.
Man, I hate that part.
That's that evil spirit, that negative spirit locking you up. They do rituals, buddy. You got and what I forget to tell y'all, first thing you need to do is your spiritual work. You spiritually arm it up when you go in there.
Okay.
And if you spiritually arm it up, you won't have to say much. It'll just fall into place. I promise you that won't have. That's exactly, because every time I put that spiritual work first. I didn't do much talking. It just went in there. Have a nice day. You know.
Yeah,
I'm going to be the one. You know, I'm going to be the one they're not going to get that day out of the 300 that roll through there. All right. Yeah.
See, on that case, I never let I didn't let my paperwork go in before I walked in. But they were like, you could do the verbal motion right here and there. But I guess they was reeling me in, you know, because when I started out with the verbal motion, you know, he said he's going to put that to the side for right now. And I noticed he said that because I started out with the Constitution, the North Carolina State Constitution. And yeah, he hit me with how do you figure he didn't have jurisdiction? I said, well, the Constitution states right here, and the man never had a warrant or anything. Like, I don't know. Like, it is not. I didn't say I don't know. And he didn't rule on that right there. He just went around that. But see, I was slipping because I allowed him to go around.
And that's another thing. They like playing with you and going around stuff. They love doing that. And when they're going around it, that means that's where you need to bring them back to. That's great. That I that's great you said that, Your Honor. But let's get back on this right here.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
You have to stay in your position because that's their job, is to knock you off position.
Yes.
And want you to talk about what they want you to talk about.
Exactly.
Because when they avoid you like that, that means you got it. And you got to keep hammering that at them. And don't sound like a robot. Oh, that's a good point. But y'all like jurisdiction. That's a good point. But y'all like that jurisdiction. And be like a robot. No emotion. Oh, that's a great point. But y'all like jurisdiction. You still have to deal with this. You know?
Yes.
Oh, we'll adjourn this for another day. You know, they move on. You have to stay firm. The problem is they trick you into talking about something else, and next you know you don't even get back the way you need it to be. Maintain control and your composure at all times.
Got you. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
brother.
I love it.
All right. Let me get, since y'all I said y'all gonna give me an earlier night. It was like, oh hell no, you ain't getting off. Everybody got their hand up now. 215-778.
Hey. Hey, happy
what's
New Year.
going on, TJ? Happy New Year.
I wanted to thank you for taking my call real quick. I wanted to just touch on when you said that courtroom is a dark place, or there's a spiritual element in there, and it's so true that you think you're prepared and you're gonna go in and you're gonna talk, and then you're and right, and it really distracts you. But the key thing that you said that I had to learn a long time ago is to set your tone before you get there. It's almost like that pep talk, like you're a box fighter, and you're prepping yourself up, and you're looking in that mirror, like you said, and you're telling yourself, you have to set the tone before you go there, that this is going to happen.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
You have to be ready, and you have to pass their spiritual energy. You have to see past what their agenda is. And one thing that I do, and I'm very mindful about this, is I'm mindful about the clothes I wear. I don't wear anything dark. So for me, I want to go in with a spiritual energy that eludes light, or eludes that, I'm above this. I am a queen, or I'm a child of God that has dominion over this. So I'll only wear purple, even if I wear the same purple dress every single time, or I'll wear white. And, you know, I'm very careful not to wear anything dark. I will not wear black at all. I won't touch it because it has this solemn feeling. And if you notice, a lot of the courtrooms, especially some of those federal courtrooms, they're so gothic. It's so gothic.
Yeah, they're always wearing something dark, yeah.
That's why the robes are dark. You know, and that's why attorneys wear dark. One time I seen an attorney in landlord-tenant court, he only wears white. And I never knew why. Why does he dress like that, down to his shoes? And I'm like, okay. But when I listen to how he argues stuff, he's not, for some reason I felt like he's set apart than a lot of the attorneys, and he takes cases where you can really see that he's going against what most attorneys would be more inclined to follow. And then that's stuck with me. But definitely setting that tone and going in there like a prize fighter, but starting like how Muhammad Ali would start in your mind, because they're going to try to confound you. And you have to be prepared for not getting distracted or getting beguiled or lulled, as I say, by whatever stuff they're going to talk. Sometimes they're trying to talk fast. Like I've seen this attorney, I call him the circus show. Anytime I'm referring to him, I'm like the circus show attorney, because he comes in there and he just starts fast talking, and then he just starts spewing out stuff that have nothing to do with stuff, and then he gets starts to get what's the word I'm looking for? Not emotional, but hysterical. He starts to say, "Oh, Your Honor, I don't know what this is about. I don't know what she's trying to do, Your Honor." And the facts are here, and she already, he'll just start talking fast and all over the place and doing all of these things. And I believe that if you go in there and you're already set the tone at your house or wherever you go to set your spirit right, then when he's doing that, you look so past him that he's not even relevant. It's like a monkey dancing in the corner. So I just wanted to share that.
Thanks for that. Thanks. But I let you break the rules by accident here. You're supposed to say something positive. Yes, of course.
Okay, so you're right. Thank you. I do apologize. So the positivity in general, you want? Just something good in general, or?
I mean, it could be specific or in general, just as long as it's a positive statement.
I would say enlightenment and realizing the greatest thing that happens to me today is realizing that the answers you have are really within. And I know sometimes when we are stressed out or we're being dragged around by whatever venue they want to bring you to, or whatever case they want to bring against you, or whatever is going on in life. It doesn't have to be court cases. That a lot of times if you get still, you realize you have the answer all along. So this year, 2020, I really thank God for enlightenment. I thank him for peace that I have. I thank, for life and health and the clarity of mind. Yeah, so those are all wonderful things that I have to be grateful for, and am grateful for, and that are happening right now. So hopefully
All right. Thank you for that. God, you see how definite that was? Some people just have a hard time expressing positive stuff for themselves. They're so caught up in the negative, they don't even know how to. They can express and define all the negative with ease, but when it comes to talking positive, a lot of people get stuck.
You have to be careful with that. Yeah, you have to be so careful with that. And it took me a while to really understand or overstand or comprehend that is where that's where the win is in life, period. That you have to know that you know who you are and what that means. And no matter what is being said about you or what's coming against you, you have to first start there. Because if you don't change your mind about yourself, they're going to use your mind against you, and then you're just going to do the work for them. And I'll leave it with this. You know who I learned that most from? If you watch Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali will look at some fighters that he knew was with his behind, like knew. And he knew that in order to take down that giant, he had to get them in the mind first. Yep, he had to. And once he got them in the mind, they were toast. And then he just let them work against themselves. If you look at the George Foreman fight, the Rumble in the Jungle, the Rumble in the Jungle, when you go back to the tape and Foreman tells you about what was going on in his mind then, that's the key. That's the key. That's how Muhammad Ali got him. So I really
he got his mind. He played him psychologically. Yeah, he didn't do it by strength, physical strength at least.
He couldn't.
All right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, take care. All right, let's keep it going. That was good information there. Let's go to where did I? 310-403.
Yo, peace, Hakeem. What's good?
Everything's good, man. All the time.
Yeah.
Good is happening all the time, every day, every hour. What's good with you?
Yeah, it is, man. I just, I took a couple years where I was starting to get a little bit lazy and, not stay active in the shape and everything. So I just joined the boxing gym the other month. So I just started up doing that and feeling good and, just getting back active again, breaking up the work week and all that. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about that. And they got youth classes in there, so my daughter is going a couple of days a week with me. So, we kind of bonding with that. So, yeah, man, it's
okay. That sounds
a good
great.
situation. Yeah.
Getting the health right. Yeah.
Yep.
All
my
right.
knuckles a little sore. I was using those house gloves. I got to get my own
thing.
gloves. But yeah, man.
Or you doing the knuckles? Yeah, that could hurt.
No.
You don't got your hands.
I had the house gloves. I don't have my gloves yet. So I'm waiting for them to come in and
you use their gloves. How much do the gloves they use? How much do they weigh?
You know what? They look like they're about 14 ounce, 12 ounce and 14 ounce, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
But they were just kind of worn and stuff in there, they just weren't, they're the house gloves.
Right. You get your home.
Yeah.
Yep,
no doubt.
All right. You got any questions, comments?
Yeah, man. I got one of those IRS letters the other day. Actually, it probably came in the last 2 days, but I just got it. I just got out the mail today, and it's one of those letters like, hey, you didn't file your tax returns last year. Yada yada yada. It's nothing. They're not asking for money or anything like that. But I know if you don't answer these right, they like to run that administrative process.
Put on there no contract. If you got my IRS webinar and letters, send that to them.
And that's
I got
what I was going to ask you.
4-part series of the IRS stuff. The first 3 is just how to answer those letters. The last one is suing them, taking them to court.
Okay. Yeah, I got 1 through 3. I don't have 4 yet. So I was going back to review those.
So you got
I just started reviewing one
part. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you got what you need.
Okay.
Yeah, you got what you need. Just use that, and that'll shut that down.
Okay. Yeah. Just want to make sure I answer it right.
We need more time. And all of that crazy stuff. So
you don't think those are some of those letters like what you went over? That's not overkill or anything, is it? Because they're not asking for any money or anything. They're just saying, hey, you need to file.
No, it's not overkill. I would definitely address that. They're sending you an unsworn statement as to you not filing. Nobody you can contact directly that swears that the foregoing is true under penalty of perjury. That's how they're supposed to be sending letters to you. To say, hey, you owe me this. You got to do this. So they got to certify those responses, and they're not. Other than that, it's just a letter. making an accusation. They can't use that in the court, but they will use it. Hey, we sent him this notice. He didn't respond. The letter didn't come, but by regular mail, and there's no proof. Yeah, you just got to put them on notice. Say, if you're gonna address me, you need to be who put this together, which we know it wasn't a person, it was a computer, and they just mailed it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. That's what's up. Yeah. I'll finish reviewing those and respond to them. All right. That's all I really had, man.
Right. Peace. All right.
Peace.
All right. Let's keep it moving. It's 8:45. To 973-573.
Hello.
Peace. What's up? How you doing?
Peace. I'm good. Actually doing great. New Year.
Doing great?
New knowledge. Yes. Learning a lot of new things.
Great.
You know, my daughter, she went to a gymnastics competition. You know about gymnastics. They got 4 events. She was first place in 3 of them, second place in the other one. So,
what type of gymnastics competition is what you just said?
Gymnastics. Uneven bars, floor routine.
Okay.
Same thing like Simone Biles was doing in the Olympics. She's on 12.
Okay. All right, that sounds great. All right.
I had a question.
What's your question?
I was looking, do you advise us to do the injunction when you get your passport as a national, or is that not needed?
You can still do the injunction. I would still do it. Yes, I still would do it.
Okay. I see. I'm from New Jersey. I see you don't have New Jersey on your site. I'm just going around these.
I don't think I do have a New Jersey injunction. I just don't have it up on the website. I just got. Let me see. I just haven't put it up there. New Jersey injunction. I created one for somebody.
I had got one from another state. I just went through our constitution here. Most of some of the things, put it in there. I don't know how to read it.
Yeah, what you can do is take the one you got from the other state and kind of match it up. I don't think I got a New Jersey one. I don't. I'm looking.
Okay.
I don't have one.
I have something. Pretty much found mostly the same things in the Jersey Constitution that was on the one I had. Hopefully that's pretty good. But I had another question.
No, I don't have one.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have that. No, what you were saying?
Okay. As far as I was looking at I guess that's the trust webinar for the business trust or the irrevocable trust. Does that have information in you regarding setting up your business as a ministry, or is that something else? Do you have anything?
No, that's just a basic trust. That if you want to set your business up as a ministry, you can get the book Corporation Soul. That book will show you how to do that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something. I didn't see anything on the site.
Document Bays carry that book. She has it. You go to the website, thedocumentbays.com. She sells that book. Mm-hmm. All right.
Probably next week, I'm probably you still do the consultations, right?
Yeah. Go to my website, IKemail.com. Click the consultation tabs. I still do them. Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, probably on next.
All right.
Next week. All right.
All right, brother. All right, peace. All right, let me move on to the next one. That definitely ain't trying to let me off early tonight. Hang on, I hit the wrong button. The line dropped. Then let me go to 404-247. 404-247.
Greetings. King, this is Halise from Atlanta, Georgia.
And good evening
Yes,
to everybody. I have enjoyed this call. Still much to learn, but I'm grateful to be here. I enjoy the conversation you had with the young lady. I just loved her spirit, and I had an opportunity to go to court myself with my daughter about 2 years ago, and we wore white. And I will attest to that it did just bring an energy to the room and to the outcome. So I would just encourage everyone to take heed because I'm in agreement with her.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the color is important. That's a great idea. That'll definitely throw them off.
Right, and I think you and I had talked about having I don't know, what are they called? Some kind. It's not a token, but a sigil or a amulet or something on your person as well.
Some type of. I know when I went to court, I had I think it was St. John's root or something like that in my pocket.
Okay.
I chewed some guinea peppers, 9 of them.
Okay.
Spit those out. They're kind of hot. Spit them out. That helps you get your words out. Kind of. It's just, I did. It was a few things I did. The night before, I prepared a spiritual bath.
Okay.
You gotta, preparation.
That's a journey I'm walking into, and being, knowing now that I'm indigenous, I try to make it a part of who I am. I wear chokers, I wear feathers. I love feathers. And I keep crystals on me. And the spiritual bath, I'm learning to walk in and saging. I love saging. So it's just a beautiful place to reconnect with who I am, rediscovering that. But I had a couple of questions. When I talked with you the other day, I had received an invoice, an occupational tax form. I have an e-commerce business, and it's got an affidavit that needs to be signed and notarized. And it just says, occupational tax certificate, company name, applicant, and it's just me. So I would check off, I have less than 10 employees. And then the next step is to complete, they call it a SAVE form, and in parentheses, it says non-U.S. citizens only. And SAVE is an acronym for Systematic Alien Verification for Entitlements. So they're getting you put the company name, applicant name, and choose only one. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm a legal permanent resident. I'm a qualified alien. And so you told me to
I cross out all
U.S.
write in who I am. I would cross it all out and write in what I need it to say.
Okay, and then get it notarized. Okay, because I just needed clarity on that, so I can turn that in.
Cross that out. I would cross out and then write in what, if you're a national, whatever you're going to use as your nationality, I would write that in.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
You had mentioned gold as well earlier. I'm trying to remember the context. You were talking about the 3 wise men. Yeah.
Yeah, what they gave Christ when they showed up, those are the gifts they gave. So what the wise men imparted upon him was success. That's what gold represents: achievement, triumphant. Frankincense denotes spiritual, good, truth, and the myrrh represents eternity of the spirit. So that's what was imparted upon him. That's what those things represented.
Awesome.
So, from an esoterical point of view.
And I'm in a total agreement there. You had also suggested getting gold. You had even mentioned, wearing it as far as jewelry. But I just wanted to say that my e-commerce business is gold acquisition. And what we do, we exchange our declining dollars for 24-karat gold bullion in user-friendly increments. We're not talking the big bars of gold. We're talking
you get parts of it.
A tenth of a gram. A gram. And so that way you can have a physical asset right then and there that is recognizable and can be used in exchange in any country in the world. So I just wanted to let people know.
If you got a website, you can go ahead and let them know on the air, your website.
Okay. It's www.therealmoney.online/ and then my it's kind of my name, HOLLIS as in Sam, E with an X, and then the number 3. Halise times 3 is what it is.
You said X3. Okay.
Yeah, X and the number 3. There are 3 videos there. I suggest looking at video 2 first, and then you can look at the other 2. And you can call me. It's a completely free account, but we have to acquire gold. And we also have cryptocurrency backed by gold, and that's what makes us unique even to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin wasn't backed by anything, but just confidence that people have in it and continue to have, because it's about $7,000-8,000 a coin right now. And we're still pre-launching, but we have an ecosystem that's phenomenal. And so we want to be our own bank. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I've been delving into the cryptocurrency somewhat. And gold and silver is on the rise right now.
Yes, it is. Both. Gold, silver went up now too.
Yeah.
Oil went up and the stock market went down.
Yeah, because of that whole Iran thing. Yeah. But I suspect something pretty serious is going to come out of that, because Iran said that they were going to attack something
yes, they are.
that the United States love. And now most people will think, well, they're coming to attack us. Nope. It's the one thing, the one country that the United States is always protecting is going to attack something that it loves. There's one country that they're always protecting no matter what.
Yeah.
And you know what that is, right?
Israel.
There you go. There you go.
Because you know they've got an $80 million, bounty on President, Trump. But they're not just going to take him. They're going to take people. They're going to take things.
Right.
It's going to be massive.
See, y'all got to see the game that's happening here. You don't think when they decided to take out this general that they didn't know that Iran would attack Israel? That's the plan. That's the whole plan. Okay?
Because they got
Let's see. I could be wrong, but when I read the article and he said that we're gonna attack something that they love, I was like, they have that whole Palestinian Israel conflict that's been going on for centuries, and it was always frowned upon that Israel could get away with murder with the things that they do, and no one said anything. So it's looking pretty bleak right now when it comes to that situation. Because that's the first direct attack against Iran.
Yeah.
You know, taking out a top general, that's a blatant attack. You know, that's and you have to also look at the game also. He's up for impeachment and they do that.
That's another
again.
That's exactly. That's another form of distraction.
It's all one big game, and they all on the same playing field playing, making you think they on different teams. That's all. You know,
They all in the same happy bed together. And
I don't buy it.
Iran has been looking at using gold to. They're trying to. Well, they've been circumventing the dollar. They don't want to use the dollar. You know, to
most of those Middle Eastern countries are. Well, not just the Middle Eastern countries. A lot of the countries around the world is not wanting to take the dollar. That's been going on for at least 3 years now. Yeah.
So they've been buying gold, silver, and they've been.
They're forcing you to convert that currency when you come to their country. Now, there was a time where they didn't care. They take the dollar or they'll take their currency. Now, a lot of these countries are requiring you to convert it before you go out there and use it.
They're forming their own alliances apart from the U.S., apart from the dollar. China and Russia and India, that whole
this is all
that China road. Yeah. So anyway, we can talk on for that, but
So one big misdirection. All right. I got to move on. I got another one or two more calls here.
Okay.
But thanks for your question, and just cross that out and write in what you want.
All right, I will.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Peace and blessings.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Next caller is going to be 567-318. 567-318. Take me off mute. You there? I hear a click. Peace to the God. What's going on? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Before
you get into your question, please share something positive. Thank you.
I wanted to touch base with you concerning the DC-11.
Okay. You didn't hear what I said first. We could talk about the DC-11, or you must be talking about the DS-11.
Yeah.
But first you got to share something positive. You got to follow these rules. I got specific rules. You know, what's good? What's positive happening in your life?
Positive in my life is coming in contact with you, King.
All right. There you go. That's a kid. I like that one. I like it. I like that. You good. Because you said that, you ain't got to say no more. What's your question as far as the DS-11?
Right. I'm in partnership with a person here in Toledo, and
okay,
he has been on changing his name legally so he can get it on his passport. Because we sit in the bank manager said if we bring in a passport with the name on it, then he can open up an account.
Right. Okay.
Would you suggest that we get our passports in our spiritual name or the birth certificate name?
No, you get it in whatever name that you have legally changed it to. So if you haven't changed your name, it would be the birth certificate name. If you went in and changed your names on the record in the court to your spiritual name, it would be in the spiritual name. It just depends on what you have legally changed it to. There's no specific requirements that, hey, you need to have your spiritual name on your thing. No, that's not a requirement.
I didn't think
whatever you change it to, it needs to be that, because they're going to want to see that. they already know you changed your name. Let's put it like that. They punch you up, boom. They know everything you did.
All right, but
they want to see if you're going to be truthful with them.
Right, but see, he's going through that secure party creditor process, and all his paperwork with his non-UCC is in his spiritual name. And he's thinking that if he goes through the other process with his birth certificate name, that it would screw him up.
No, it won't. They don't connect like that. He did it in his spirit. Well, see, did he do his spiritual name through the courts, or he just calling himself something?
He's doing it through the courts.
Okay, it won't screw it up. If he did it through the courts, he's going to have to show that court order that he changed his name and put it on the passport.
Right. Okay, well,
I would suggest he get a nationality consultation so he can be clear. It looks like he's mixing and matching that Social Security party with the nationality. They don't go together, you know. That doesn't go with the nationality thing. And it won't affect what he did with the non-UCC or UCC.
All right. Well, that was what I wanted. And the one quick question: how do you navigate with your computer to get on this show?
It's blogtalkradio.com/Hindsight 2020.
Gotcha.
And then you could chat. You go to the chat room. You could ask questions in the chat. You can listen on the computer without having to call in. But it's a little lag when you do it on the computer versus call in. It's like a little lag between the computer and the phone. Okay.
All right. So you saying?
All right.
Oh, did you? I sent in my DC-11 for you to review. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I thought I responded to you. I thought I sent you back something saying it looked good.
But I sent attachments each page. Oh, you responded?
Yeah, you sent it like last week within a couple of days of us doing the consultation. I thought I responded to it. What's your email?
Yeah, you the question I had, but not to any of my documents.
Oh, I thought I responded. When I looked at it, they looked good to me. Oh, I need you. Shoot me an email again, so I don't want to have your email over the air. Right. Just shoot me a quick email, and I will look at it again and then confirm what I said. All right.
And one other question: how do we get set up with you in this process? It seemed to me, as listening to all of your tapes and recordings, that some people mentioned that they were on a screen where they could, get in contact with you.
Like sometimes I do live webinars where we can, like I did with you when I did your passport process.
Right.
Like that. Sometimes I do that. And sometimes on the show, people are chatting with me while I'm doing the show.
True.
So I can see questions there. Of course, tonight there's not too many people with questions in the chat. Sometimes I think I'm so thorough they don't have to ask a question.
No. There's always
yeah. But you could they interact with me through the chat. But once you do go to blogtalkradio.com/Hindsight 2020, you'll be able to do the chat too, and you can see other people's questions in the chat. You can see the links I post when I'm reading stuff. You can see that in the chat.
Okay then.
All right.
But I'm gonna shoot you that email right away, then.
Yeah, just remind me, shoot me, and then I could locate your email and then go back over it. I remember you sending it. I think it was like last week or the week before. Oh,
right.
All right.
Right. Peace to the God.
All right. Peace to God, man. Take care. Doing good things there. He's moving. He ready. I like when I work with people who get it and they move and get it done. I did the seminar in Champaign, Illinois. Already a couple of people have gotten their passport since I've done that seminar. That's what I'm talking about. What seminar can y'all go to and actually leave there being able to do your passport? There's nobody doing that. And come back within a week or two saying, I got my passport. Because I had some people who've already emailed me like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, saying that they had their passport. Well, y'all, there's nobody doing that. Giving y'all that information like that. You know, where y'all could actually go and apply the knowledge and have a result. You know, most times you go to the seminar, you leave there with more questions than you do with any results or anything that you can actually apply. And this is the year to shut all of that down. You know, stop wasting your time with lip service. People who are telling you things, you could do this, you could do that, but have no proof of claim. No proof of life. Why waste your life and your time? You got things to do. You want to be prosperous. You want to be, go to that next level. You cannot be wasting your time with lip service. Be very strict on that. Have a strict policy that when someone is telling you something, even me, show me what you're talking about. Share with me where you got that information from. Show me that you even did it. Y'all go to my website. Y'all go to my YouTube channel, and I show y'all things, and I actually take you to what I'm reading from. I take you to my personal life cases. I'm not ashamed. I don't hide nothing. I don't have to. Because everything I've gone through is a teaching lesson. It's a process. It is what has made me who I am today. And anybody that has something negative to say, to hell with them. I don't care what they think. Because not one of them is going to pay a bill over here where I am right now. Not one will do it. And I ain't got to ask them for it because my cup is full, it's running over. I got to have a saucer under my cup to catch the overflow. You know how you do. You got a little teacup and you spill to the brim. You don't want to spill it. It's hot with prosperity. So, listen, y'all want real information? It's coming. I got it. I was moving a little slow on the membership. I had somebody else supposed to be working on it, moving a little slow. But, hey, I just took the bull by the horns today and started putting stuff together. That membership's going to be ready. I'm going to put all of the free content up there that you can go and just pull down different templates to help you with stuff, as long as you're a member. And unfortunately and fortunately, the only people that can be a part of the premium membership, I'm going to have two forms, a free membership and a premium membership. But if you want to go in and get the higher level of knowledge, the stuff that I would never talk about on the air is going into the premium membership. And only people that's going to get that one is the ones who did the $1,500 process with me, who went through the whole nationality process with me. That's the only people, because the information that I'm going to be dropping in there is for the next step. The next steps of this process. Okay? And I know you're serious if you did that. Some of y'all might have did it because of the, financially you felt you couldn't afford it, and I understand that. I relate to that. There was a time where I thought like that. I can't afford nothing, but I don't think like that anymore. That I can't afford anything. I can afford everything. The big house that I'm gonna have, the private planes, the big old house with the people, the maids and the people working for me there, groundskeeper, the yacht, that's where I'm going. Now some of y'all may feel like y'all don't want all that, and that's fine. That's your choice. But that's the stuff I'm going for. That generational wealth. That wealth that no matter what you do, it ain't going nowhere for generations. That's what I'm talking about. If you want that other stuff, I can't knock you for it. But I can't hang with that anything else. You can call me materialistic what you want, I don't care. It's not about being materialistic. It's about generations of my family have been living in poverty with impoverished thoughts, and it's time for that chain to be broken. The chain is broken because once it was broken, once I had a new idea, had a new commitment to wealth and prosperity and anything else that's good, I broke it. Just with the idea. So that's what I'm trying to impart over here with you guys. That's why I only try to talk about positive things. I try to, I enforce the process of you talking good about yourself. And I realize that that's a difficult thing for some people because we're programmed to just say the negative. But if you do that, the more and more you do that, it's going to become a habit. And next thing you know, it's going to be a habit of having abundance. That's the habit you want to have. Because with abundance comes doing good for other people. You can give away a lot more money to people and help people a lot more when you have an abundance of money. But the only way you're going to be able to have an abundance is by you giving. What you give is what you get. Y'all see somebody out there with the little sign asking for money, and you'll sit there and y'all pass judgment on them. Oh, they can go get a job. I've said that. I've even been guilty of saying that. But it ain't my job to judge them. My job is, when my spirit moves me, go ahead and give them whatever I feel is what I want to give at that time. And some of y'all see people needing something, or you get a movement, hey, I need to do something for this person, and y'all sit there and allow y'all Hayrod, the King Hayrod, to get in your way. And tell y'all, nah, don't do that. They're going to do something bad with it. Nah. And it comes disguised as the three wise men. That advice you're giving yourself comes disguised as somebody with wisdom. Nah, but then you got to take them wise men and convert them into opening up that treasure chest and giving the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh. But anyway, that's it for tonight. I appreciate you guys getting on. And once again, I said this last Thursday, this is the first Tuesday show of the year. Thank you for giving me a very successful 2019. And so far this year through the ritual, that's another thing I wanted to mention. My 2020 has already started off with abundance and overflow. And I'm sure everybody that did the ritual with me that night, that New Year's Eve, are experiencing the same success. And I'd appreciate it if you guys get on and share that. Hey, I did this, and this is what I'm doing, so that it can become a habit. It become contagious. Success needs to be infectious amongst amongst us. We got to reverse all this negativity. And with that being said, what am I going